History is so important. If you don't learn from your mistakes, you're bound to repeat them.
Listen up, people.
And when we study Western civilization in school, we usually start way back. And I'm talking about Greece and Rome. You know, people like Dante, Aristotle, and Socrates.
Socrates? Hey, we know that name.
Yeah. Hey, look him up. Oh, it's under Socrates.
Oh, yeah.
They were the foundations for Western civilization. But rulers like Leonidas and Julius Caesar didn't just give us architecture, agriculture, even democracy. They also taught us how to destroy our political opponents. And historian Alex Petkus laid it out, how Democrats are using the same playbook today. You start with bribery, but you don't just pay off the jury. That's too messy. You do what Cicero's enemies did to take him out. You bribe the witnesses to discredit the defendant. False testimony can
Sounds
be costly,
familiar.
but expert opinion helps destroy reputations.
Like
Kinda
our
sounds
media.
Like having 51 spooks sign off on a letter saying Hunter's laptop was fake. How much did that support cost? And speaking of
Wow.
bribery, there's paying off your voters. The Romans used the Colosseum to put on gladiator shows and give out free bread to distract people from their miserable lives.
And that's
Take
why
this
they're
tiny
opening up the
handout while you
borders.
Make your empire unlivable. Kind of like what Joe's doing with $500 billion in student loan bailouts. And how about this lesson from the Greeks? The best way to discredit your rival is to accuse them of colluding with a foreign power.
Colluding with a foreign power. Where have we heard that?
The president is a Russian operative.
This cloud
Wow.
about collusion with Russia will hang over him no matter where he stands.
It does look like he's listening to Putin more than he is American intelligence.
We're about to find out if the new president of our country is going to do
Almost
what
as if
Russia
it is
wants.
scripted for
Presidency is
them. Oh,
effectively
wait,
a
it
Russian
is.
op.
And if none of that works, the Democrats can do as the Romans did and just arrest their opponent. Like Aemilius Scaurus did to Rutilius Rufus. You can use bogus charges and don't even need proof of a crime. It's just about muddying up their name. Biden's Justice Department targeting Trump's nothing new. They were doing it way back in the Roman times. How about Democrats
Wow.
in history? Certainly looks like they've picked up a few dirty tricks from the classics. Douglas Murray is a Fox News contributor, and he went to Oxford University. So, I mean, we should have been able to see through all of these vicious attacks if we had just opened up the history books.
That's absolutely right. A lot of what we're seeing tomorrow is classic playbook. Not only the
Wow.
Greeks and the Romans, but the Tudors, the Medicis, always the same. The interesting thing that's been happening recently in America is something which is very reminiscent from history. How to get rid of a popular leader without making yourself unpopular.
Wow.
Very, very classic problem that
Wow.
people face.
They
throughout
fooled
history.
me. I
And one
believed
of the
them.
other things we're seeing at the moment, of course,
Wake
is
up, people.
there's not
Honestly,
enough
wake
to
up,
defeat
please.
your political opponent. You've got to kill them. Now, of course, the Greeks took that
Literally.
very literally.
like they did with
maybe
JFK.
It's not so little at the moment, but it's not
They
far
killed him.
off, is it? We're no longer talking about simply defeating a political opponent in the polls. We're talking about also making sure they die and rot in prison.
Right. So it's just
Wow.
destroying
Familiar?
the entire movement. It's destroying any lawyer that would want to represent that politician. It's scaring away donors. It's ruining the reputation of supporters.
Wow.
It's a really just nasty
They did a
playbook.
great
But
job
the
with
really
that with
interesting
Trump,
thing
didn't
today
they?
is, of course, that we,
Yes, I
the
sure
public,
believed them.
can all see it. That wasn't the case in ancient Greece. Most of the Athenians would just be going
Thank
around
you,
their own
Lord, for
business. They
opening
didn't
my
know what
eyes.
was happening in the Senate. Today, we do. Today, we have the opportunity to see all of this played out. You just mentioned 51 people who signed the letter. We can all see through them. You know, they're not a mystery to us. There was a time in which they would have been a mystery. We can all see that out in the open now. So this is a lot harder. Again, I mentioned the Tudors. Back in those days, if you had a problematic opponent, they wouldn't have used that word, of course.
Right.
If you had a problematic opponent, it was quite easy. You would hire a couple of thugs, they'd come in the night, kill him, put him in a port wine barrel, and you smuggle him out the back door. Not so easy in the age of social media. So they know that. So it's total reputational destruction that they go for.
Didn't it
Exactly.
used to just be a woman? You know, you send a woman into the
Yeah.
bar, maybe a photograph or two was
Yeah.
taken, maybe an audio clip was recorded.
Yeah.
That seems so unsophisticated these days.
Yeah, the Greeks also sometimes sent a young man to tempt some of the senators in true ancient Greek
Both can
style.
be tempting.
Yeah,
Where
exactly.
does it
Both
all
can be
stem
just
from?
as guilty as
They definitely believed in the honey trap back
Right.
then. But yes, I
Prince
mean,
of
as I say,
Darkness.
it's very interesting.
been
All of
using
these
its
ways, well,
techniques
Cicero,
since the
all the
beginning of
classics,
time.
we know all these ways in which you can try to defeat your opponent. But the interesting thing that we are not following them on is also trying to defeat people by logic. You know, is Joe Biden trying to have a logical explanation for how he needs to destroy his opponent? No, he's just saying destroy, destroy, destroy. That is happening on both sides. I mean, there is this sort of thing I've identified before in the New York Post.
Dems
we no
do
longer in
as the
America
Romans
want
do
to simply
and pay
defeat
off
our opponents. We want to
voters.
hurt them.
Right.
That is, in my view, a very bad instinct, but it's one we've definitely fallen into. But as I say, the one difference with the ancient Greeks was that they did also know the art of rhetoric and the art of persuasion. If anyone can honestly tell me that either President Biden or Vice President Harris are skilled in the arts of oratory or persuasion, I got a bridge to sell you.
All right. And we know Joe Biden's not opening up these classic books. He's being told what to do.
Yeah, or maybe any long book.
Any long
actually.
book, over 50 pages. Thank you very much. Douglas Murray,
Very good.
highly educated and highly accredited, very sophisticated.